Now, when the chimps are on patrol, that's a uniquely intense and aggressive moment, and it's so wild to watch. To see them, these hulking chimpanzees, move through the forest in coordination. When you're there with that and you're very close to these violent encounters with the other chimps, is there any concern there that you could get caught up in this sort of violent frenzy and maybe be in danger of being attacked? Or
there isn't actually, and that I mean the what let me rephrase that. I would say on a personal level, of course, right? You hear about these things happening, it's a possibility, we'll be there when it happens and when it's filmed. So we ask exactly the same question. So this is, I've been through the exact same process as you are now and had this conversation with the scientists, like, are we going to be safe?
Right.
Is it safe for us to, where should we be or where should we not be if this happens when we're there? So totally, we had exactly the same questions and we just didn't know. And we were reassured by the scientists, you'll be amazed. Like,
wow.
If you see those things, they will happen, but they will ignore you. And their only warning was that definitely don't get too close. Because the level of excitement around the chimps during these encounters, if there's ever a time when they could accidentally come very close to you or suddenly see you and get a bit of a fright, they wouldn't want to take that sort of a risk with us. So they did. We were warned, keep a respectful distance from that. But amazingly, and there's a little behind the scenes clip that we've sort of released on YouTube now, and you can see that during the biggest encounter that we filmed, the camera people were sort of like in it and around it, and sort of at one stage sort of like accidentally between the two groups as they were sort of standing off. And that there's certain way, I mean, the chimps move so fast and they organize, reorganize, separate or whatever, so you can try and be in the perfect position, but then that perfect position could quickly become where you don't want to be because of where the chimps have gone. So through no fault of their own, there are times when they're in there, sort of. It's a bit like being a war reporter or something. But weirdly, they're so focused on what it is they're doing and have no interest in sort of involving or redirecting their aggression to the humans at all. Wow. I think, because of, there are some quite high profile and sort of like pretty tragic sort of human-chimp interactions, aren't there?
In N'Gogo?
No, I mean sort of like things that have happened at zoos or whatever. And I think that it does give a sort of an unusual impression of what chimps are like in the wild. They have all that sort of capability, and more so, the N'Gogo chimps. There's so many of them, and they are engaged in these sort of violent competitions with other groups. That's a very real thing, and it can get serious. But their relationship with people is just completely different to a relationship chimps might have with people in captivity, or if they've been kept as pets or something. It's not. I totally get it, and those are exactly the sort of things I wanted to know before I stepped in and go. Well, I mean,
for sure.
You need to know. But amazingly, when you've been there around it, and even once you've just been on a single patrol with them, actually, and they are exhilarating. When you go on patrol with N'Gogo chimps, it's amazing. They are taking you on a journey to the edge of their border, and they're fully committed and they're coordinated, and
they don't seem to care that you're following them.
And they're allowing you to sort of be there.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's it's an incredible experience. Actually, it's real adrenaline.
Yeah, there they are. Look at that. This was my favorite part. Just watching them move in coordination and just wondering, like, how do they know? Like, what are they doing? It almost seems like they're gesturing in some ways, like that chimp with the one hand.
Oh, so this is the behind the scenes
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, exactly. You know, gestures quite often that in our form, or hands all over each other.
Yeah.
That's undeniable. These
Yeah.
sort of reassuring
Yeah.
gestures. They know they're in this like tense situation. They're nervous. I think that you can read into that they're sort of telling each other that, like, I'm with you, I'm here. That physical contact is just, you know, it's just reassuring each other that we're in this together. It's you and me.